back to the Over the Shoulder podcast, episode 27. This week, we're going over every version of the WWF Big Eagle. Once again, like every week, I'm with my co-host, Rob Figsing Staniloff. And who do we have on this week as our guest co-host?
Well, Happy New Year, guys. Really happy to be back here, of course, on the Over the Shoulder podcast. The special guest co-host that we have, ladies and gentlemen, it's a treat, definitely is fellow Belt Addicts Anonymous Hall of Famer. Definitely a hell of a re-leatherer through his company, and he'll state which company it's going to be, or which he'll state. Ryan Richards, really happy to have you on here, bro. Definitely, I've heard fellow Canadian. I mean, Max and I are from Calgary. I know you're in British Columbia. He's also moderator for Belts of the North. But Ryan, say hi to all the fans.
What's up, everybody? Thanks so much for having me here, guys. It's a super big pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And we're happy to have you, definitely. For our little podcast to take flight with what it is, we are really happy to have these special co-hosts on here while Max and I go through these Belt episodes. And like we said, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you the guest co-hosts. Well, maybe not every week, but we can rest assured that if we don't have any co-hosts, it will be Max and I here every week bringing you an episode. So we're really happy to be here back, 2022, a hell of a new year. And I think, Max, why don't we just dive right in here?
Yeah, of course, you said it perfectly. No better way to start the new year than with the WWF Big Eagle. And let's start off with my favorite version of this belt. I've talked about it in previous episodes when we went over the 2001 Figures Inc. line and talked about the Big Eagle. But I absolutely love the block logo Big Eagle. Now, before when I first got into the hobby or into wrestling, basically, you always saw the scratch logo, the white scratch logo on a black strap. And to be honest, I was never a huge fan. I mean, I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. I thought it was good. But I never really fell in love with this belt until I saw the block logo. Now that I love the block logo, I've turned. I don't hate this scratch logo as much. I've tended to love it a bit more. But this is a belt that really started for me for the Big Eagle, and I just absolutely love it. Everything from the block logo. Of course, we talked about this previous times. I love the block logo. I prefer it over the WWF scratch logo any day of the week. And the strap, my God, we talk about leather. This strap looks fucking beautiful. That shade of blue looks wonderful. That burgundy croc backing looks just perfect on there. Just adds a little bit of class to the belt. And we talk about belts that it's hard to. We talked about the Ring of Honor belt, the new Ring of Honor belt. They had to go after the Cody belt, and it's hard. Or the IWGP V5. It's hard to be the next belt after a loved belt. Of course, this had to come after the Winged Eagle, so it's really hard to come after that belt. But I think they did an amazing job on this, and I feel like people started to love it after some time. I absolutely love it. The texture on the plates, the Big Eagle, the shade of blue on that globe, the strap. Absolutely love it. Rob, what do you think?
And we were reviewing this reviewing this belt previously in a prior episode. I do love this belt. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. If it was licensed, I would love it even more because I don't hold one bootleg in my collection. However, this is a great belt. It absolutely is. I know Max is a fan of the block logo. I know he doesn't like the scratch logo. Throw the scratch logo in his face. He'll say, get that fucking thing out of here. I love the block logo. There's no doubt. I absolutely love the plates. I do love this belt. Don't get me wrong. The backing is incredible. The plates are amazing. What they did on the block logo is absolutely incredible. And as I know Max is going to say a little bit more about the belt that he just recently acquired with respect to that globe. And he knows how I feel about the globe. I know that it's usually common to have a different shade of blue on the globe versus the block logo. I would love to have the same color. I mean, it's just me. It's just how I feel about it. However, though, it doesn't take anything away from the belt. It's still a beautiful belt. Again, if it was licensed, I would have it. That is where I'm at here. But Ryan, what do you think?
This one's kind of I can't really hate on it much, but at the same time, it is kind of a love-hate relationship for me. The attitude, it's no secret the Attitude Era was fantastic, and you could probably tell by my thinning hairline that, I was around for that. When I first started watching wrestling, of course, it was the Winged Eagle, and that was the championship. You know, we'd watch WWF on the weekends and stuff, and catch the pay-per-views and whatnot. And I mean, of course, there was WCW every now and then, but the back when I was a kid, man, the big gold didn't mean shit to me. Now it's a different story, obviously, but this belt coming along when it did, especially with the rise of Austin 316, the significance is there, man. And the shift from the winged eagle to this big eagle belt is fantastic. The belt itself it's gorgeous, but it's not my favorite iteration of this belt. And I mean, we'll talk about which one it is later. But for right now, though, being a re-leather guy, it is super nice to see Croc backing on a belt. I absolutely love it. If anybody who knows, what I do, what I try and push for my belts is those exotic backings like Croc and snakeskin and stuff as well. So this one is really, really, really high up on my list for that reason. The plates look fantastic. I mean, obviously the leather cut is just beautiful. It's really hard to see the snap boxes and stuff. Sorry about that, guys. It's really hard to see the snap boxes and stuff in a lot of pictures, but I love the fact that the snap boxes are like, I think they're 2x10, on both sides. It's fucking fantastic, man. It's got some of the feel of the big gold in it, but it's got that prestige to it, but it had that new look to it that, kind of separated itself from the previous championships. And that's one of the things that I really hold in high esteem for that belt.
Yeah, and I mean, the big thing here, and those triangles that are on the side of that main plate, the only bad thing about that, guys, is that it punctures the leather a lot. And I mean, and it's the design. I mean, that's exactly, it's the design. Again, I actually am with you, Ryan. I mean, I'm not a re-leatherer guy. I'm not. However, the backing on this is fucking awesome. It really is. The Croc is just absolutely amazing. And I mean, Max is a big re-leather guy. I mean, my middle name is Figure Zing. His middle name should be Re-Leather, or maybe, I don't know. But it's still a great belt. It absolutely is.
No, I absolutely love it. And you're talking about the history behind, of course, Austin being the first person to hold it, of course, Kane. And interesting enough, the last person to actually hold that belt, not as a champion, but actually hold the belt on TV was Arnold. And you can see that huge 2x10 snap box you were talking about.
Wow,
massive. That's the picture right there, man. That's the one that is the go-to, to show people what this version actually looks like, because it's fantastic, man. I mean, it's just it lacks some of the detail of the of the later generations, but I mean, what can you say about that? It's absolutely gorgeous, right?
I love that. And that shade of blue just looks so good.
It's a championship belt. And I mean, it's a championship belt, not a tumor. Anyways, it's definitely a championship belt. It's a hefty belt that you can literally put over your shoulder, around your waist, and holy fuck, a 2x10 snap box. Man, killer. Absolutely killer. Yeah. Beautiful. And look at his smile. I mean, shit.
Totally a beauty of the belt, so I can't blame him. I just can't talk about how much I love this belt, and I'll probably talk about this belt later on when we talk about the other versions. I love that version. And one thing I want to touch on is the shade of blue on the globes, how it's different than on the behind the WWF logo and on the strap. I love that. I saw someone do a paint mod where it was a blue shade, the shade of the globes was the same as the strap and behind the WWF logo. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. I love the different shade of blue. I think it stands out as a globe. I love it. The texture looks beautiful. It almost looks dual plated in some lighting because of the nugget texturing. You can see there, it almost looks like silver, but it's not just nugget texturing. Makes the logo stand out even more. And of course, that beauty you can't see in this picture. I'll show you guys later when I have my Big Eagle, that WWF property plate. Love that plate so much. But moving on to the gold scratch logo version 1. Now, this version did have the unattached side. Well, the sidebars in between was a gap. Later versions didn't have this. This is the only version that actually had this. This one and the blue version, of course. But this, of course, had the scratch logo, which, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of. But if I had to pick one of the scratch logos, I'd pick this one or the version 2, which we'll get into a little bit later. I love that gold logo. I think it still looks really good. It blends into that belt pretty nicely, and it still has that nugget texturing behind the glow, behind the shields. Love that
Mhm.
nugget texture. I think it stands out really nice. Same shade of blue. Does have a black strap, which honestly I think looks good. I think it looks great on this belt. It still looks good. Has that black behind the WWF logo to match it. I love this belt. I mean, if I had to pick a version with a WWF scratch logo, it'd be this one. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I'm with you. I definitely am. Gold. It's like gold, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely love that. I totally agree with you. That nugget texturing, the logo, the plates on that black strap, it looks really, really awesome. I mean, I don't really have much more to say about it. I mean, it absolutely is incredible. And yeah, you're right. This was the version with the gap that
Mhm.
had the gap on it. So absolutely, absolutely crazy. Would I've rather have had this as the licensed Figures Inc.? Yes, I would have, just because I love gold. But anyways, Ryan, what do you think?
Okay, so this one's probably going to be a bit of a long one. This is my favorite of
Nice.
all of the iterations, not just because of the belt itself, but also because of the feuds that took place with it. I mean, Stone Cold and The Rock, Rock and Mankind. That for me is at the high point of the WWF for me,
Mhm.
and just parts of this belt that really kind of make it stand out for me. I am not a fan of the WWF logo tooling along the edges.
Mm.
I think it looks like shit. I think it's just fucking pointless self promotion. It doesn't need to be there.
Thank you.
What does need to be there is proper clamshell tooling, and that's what this belt has. It gives it that old school prestige, but that new school look to it, that edgy attitude look.
Mhm.
And one of the other reasons why this belt is my favorite as well is because this is where the detail for the snap boxes came in. JMar started doing a little more with the snap boxes and stuff like he was doing on his other belts. I believe the first one that came through the 2x10 did not have a textured snap box. This one does. The other part to this, and it's probably the biggest visual part for me, is that it's a gold WWF symbol. I'm a Bruins fan, so black and gold is
Hmm.
in my blood, man. And I mean, fuck. If I had my guitar collection here, you'd see that as well too. But it's so much nicer than the white. I mean, the white's obviously iconic because that's the Attitude logo on TV and everything. But there's just something about all that extra gold that just gives it that bigger prestige. Now, one last thing too. I know that a lot of people don't like the fact that the sidebars were cut out a little bit, including Austin because he took a gouge from one of them. But I think it's cool, man.
Yeah.
And I think if they could have found a way to make that work, I would have liked to have seen that. Because it gives it that old school winged eagle feeling a little bit, and it just gives a little more attention to detail rather than just painting that area
Yeah.
black. I mean, it looks the same, from far away, but it's just that nice little touch, man. This is the perfect belt to me. This is the perfect belt.
No, I can't agree more with that. Like the sidebars. Thank you. Some people say like who cares? Like it looks the same. It just I don't know. It just seems like almost like toy-ish. I don't
Yeah,
know.
man.
Something about like them painting it in just seems like a replica. Something the fake like WWE
It just
shop
looks
would do.
cheap.
It just kind of like if the wrestlers weren't so rough on their damn belts, this would have stayed along. They didn't fucking break the sidebars off, but unfortunately they did. And then came the version 2. Now the other one was beat to shit, so they came with a new version. This version still had the gold WWF logo, sorry, but it didn't have any texturing behind the shields, and the sidebars weren't attached. They were painted in. Tooling was that stupid WWF logo going all the way around, but it had blue backing. I mean, I like the blue backing. It's nice. It's not burgundy croc, but it's better than black backing. I think it added some nice flavor. I feel like it would have been nicer if it was the same shade as the globe. I think that would have been cool. Or I don't know, just the blue's a little. It's okay. I don't mind it. The fact that they removed the fucking texturing though, that pisses me off. Like I love the texturing behind that. I think it adds so much to it, and that they removed it, like I don't see the point in that. I think it's just ridiculous for them to do that. Sidebars, we talked about it. I think it's stupid, but what do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I love nugget texturing. I really do. For them to take it out, I think it's a travesty. I really do. I mean, clamshell tooling is a big thing. And we've talked about clamshell tooling on some of the other belts that we were talking about in some of the prior episodes. I mean, to have that was absolutely something that I believe that needs to be there. The backing on this is really cool. I do like blue. Blue is actually one of my favorite colors. I like that they left the logo as gold. I do. But yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you, Max. If they would have just fucking took care of the belts, if they would have been able to take care of their fucking belts, this thing wouldn't have had to come out. And then why remove nugget texturing? I don't understand. Nugget texturing really, really brings out the plates. It really does. And this, they painted over it. I mean, what the fuck? Like why the hell are they doing it?
My guess is Jamer was too lazy.
Yeah, and that's what it is. That motherfucker. I mean, he definitely that motherfucker is always lazy, and I mean, his ass has always been called out on the other prior episodes. And to tell you the truth, bro, I mean, you are fucking lazy. Why would you do that here? Why would you? I mean, nugget texturing is a huge thing. It's an upgrade, I think. You downgraded it, Ryan. What do you think?
I mean, the nugget texturing is, it's not necessary, but it definitely does bring a certain prestige to it, right? I mean, it's the same thing between, like a WCW replica belt and, a classic Shield WCW belt, right? Like the big gold. When you see those nice hand done inlays in the, in the swirls and in the floral work, I mean, that doesn't have to be there, right? Before we saw that, we still popped wood over the fucking WCW replica. But, the fact that it is there, though, it just puts it like 1 or 2 levels above, the other stuff. And that's what nugget texturing is for me. I mean, I wasn't really watching when Cody held the white Intercontinental belt, but goddamn, I want one, right? I mean, that nugget texturing is just fucking gold, man. It's crazy. The other one thing I just wanted to point out too is I'm a huge fan of hardcore wrestling. And, as much as I would like to see these guys take care of the belts, I love a good fucking belt shot, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing to me says revenge or heat, like a good fucking belt shot to the face, man. And Stone Cold was fantastic at taking that belt to the face, and The Rock was great at throwing it, man. Unfortunately, he was too great at throwing it. Yeah, it's a damn shame, but I think the abuse these belts take, if done right with the right psychology, can add to the storyline.
Yeah,
it just sucks that JMR wants to be fucking lazy about it, and on future versions of this, just kind of hang back and just let everybody else do the work for him. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't mind the head shot. That's fucking awesome. For me, it's like throwing the belt around, the fucking baby oil on the strap. That just hurts me. Or when Damian, this is off topic, when Damian Priest won the NXT North American title, did you guys see his celebration in the hot tub? And he jumped in with that fucking belt.
You were mentioning that.
I cringed so hard. That poor leather in that hot tub. I think I cried that night. I couldn't sleep. That was such a sad moment.
Yeah,
like things like that. Like, hell, use the belt to beat him. I don't care. But when you're like treating it like shit, that's where I'm like, I don't understand that.
Yeah. When you're not throwing hands or you're not throwing belts, don't. There's no reason to to bring it out partying with you or into a hot tub, or even if you're on camera and stuff, just fucking tossing it around like it's nothing.
Yeah,
like it's that belt is what you're supposed to be working towards.
Exactly,
that is the prize. You don't see fucking NASCAR drivers fucking up their gold cups.
Right.
You don't see people on the Pittsburgh Penguins fucking throwing around the Stanley Cup like it's a piece of shit, man.
Yeah. No.
That's a disgrace.
And I mean, I like a good rugged look. I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, a good rugged look. To dump it in a hot tub is a fucking shame. I mean, if we talk about hardcore wrestling, I mean, I do have a hardcore, the blue version back there. I mean, I do love hardcore. I'm with you, Ryan. I do love the hardcore stuff. Hardcore wrestling, absolutely. But yeah, I agree with Max. I mean, I remember seeing that, Max. Yeah, that was a fucking travesty. I don't know what he's doing with the leather.
Yeah, no, that hurt me.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that hurt me, when they went to the white scratch logo,
This hurts.
fuck off. I don't know why. Okay, I know it's personal opinion, but the amount of people that prefer the white scratch logo, I don't understand at all. Like, to me, this is where the scratch logo looks like dog shit on any belt. Sorry, Rob. European, fuck that light heavyweight, the Big Eagle, the tags. That white scratch logo looks like complete shit. Look, I don't care. You know, like you have memories. I understand that. We grew up watching that. I get that. But when you're talking about aesthetically, just the design, it looks like shit compared to the gold. It really does. It looks like a child just drew it on there with some silver Sharpie and just painted it in. It looks so stupid on a belt. I just don't understand why that. And that property plate, they went from that beautiful property plate that was sticking out all gold, just a beauty, to that shit. It's just a fucking black plate that says J Mar's phone number and then white WWF logo. I hate that. And there's no nugget texturing. The tooling's back to that stupid WWF tooling. I don't understand it. And the snap box, he's lazy again. I guess he spent too much time doing that stupid ass WWF logo texturing. He didn't want to do any tooling into the snap box. Back to plain snap boxes. I don't understand. I don't like this version, clearly. Rob, what do you think?
I mean, I do have different opinions only because I'm a licensed belt collector. I definitely am. These belts, though, and as we were mentioning off camera before we got on here, these are the belts that bootleg makers love to put out, saturated with bootlegs for eBay and everything. And of course, a message goes out to United Bitch Brothers. Again, would I rather get this belt off of your sorry asses or somebody else? Of course I'm going to take somebody else, because why? You guys are a fucking disgrace to the hobby and should be shot, and I hope you guys get hit by a fucking truck. I really do. United Bitch Brothers, I mean, what the hell are you doing? And one of my actually good friends in the hobby, who's actually an admin on Heel and Heroes Belts, actually called your guys out, which was actually amazing. She holds the same views as myself. It's not just a hatred toward you guys. It's a hostile hatred toward you guys. I hope you guys seriously slither away and go away, because everything that you guys put out is absolute horseshit. Now, back to the belt. I mean, Licensed Figures Inc., yes, scratch logo, that's what you're going to find. You are. Now, on mine, you could do a paint mod on this. You definitely can on mine. It's not painted in. Now, I know you absolutely love the light heavyweight, Max. I mean, even the one that I have coming, I think you absolutely love it. I'm going to have to take it down there and show you. But I get it. I get it that you don't like the scratch logo. But again, if we're talking about rarity and we're talking about licensed belt collectors, a lot of our admin team that are on Belt Addicts Anonymous, I can even shout out their names: Casey, Jamie, Brandon, Rob, another Rob, Kevin Very, Scott Puri, all those guys, they're going to hit the Licensed Figures Inc. And that's what it is. Now, do I like the belt? I like it because I can have it as a rarity in my collection. However, if I was given a choice, I go back to the block logo, I would. But for rarity's perspective, I'd like to have it in my collection. I definitely do. Ryan, what do you think?
It's not my favorite. We've already established that. But, I mean, it does hold a little bit of a place in my heart, too, because, again, the rivalries surrounding it, right? I mean, Triple H and The Rock, the game was at his peak when he held this belt, in my opinion. I actually have a boot version of this belt as well. The leather's not all that well done, obviously, because it's a boot belt. I refuse to do anything with it, though, other than display it prominently in my house, because it's the first belt I ever received.
Okay.
For Christmas a couple of years back when I got into the hobby, that was the one that my wife and my daughter got me.
Okay.
And, it's 4 millimeters, it's brass, it's literally, by belt hobby standards, it's fucking nothing special, man. But it's the only one that sits on my wall. The other ones sit in details. This one is displayed prominently. The one thing I hate is a bad boot. And the one I have, it's from Fight Night, and the
Okay.
plates are done really well.
Yeah.
Obviously the leather and stuff, being that it's just pressed from Pakistan, nothing crazy,
Yeah.
but the plates are pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite version because, again, I love the gold too. I'm with you on that, guys. But I think in terms of this belt, the white scratch logo, it still does it justice. It's just not as how was I looking for here? It's not as premium, I guess, as the version 1 to me,
Yeah.
or the version 1 scratch logo. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, when we talk about belts, obviously every episode we joke around, talk shit about United Belt Brothers, but at the end of the day, even if it's the shittiest belt made of tinfoil, whatever, anything, as long as it means something to you, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? Like, if it makes you
Totally.
happy and it has like some importance to you, it honestly doesn't matter what we say on here. Like, we can talk shit about United Belt Brothers all day long, but if you get a belt from them and it's from someone special, like your wife or your daughter, or like, or it's your first belt and it actually means something to you, all power to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. It's just our opinions, guys.
yeah,
If you want to get the belts, go for it. As you can see behind me, I will probably not own any of that stuff in my collection. But I feel you, Ryan. Sentimental value with your first belt.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that a little bit because I totally agree with you. I actually still have my first belt in my collection that started this whole addiction. I bought it at a live event, and I have shown it off on Belt Addicts Anonymous. It's a network logo WWE Championship that I added Dean Ambrose side plates to, just some rare side plates. But I feel you, man. Absolutely. You don't want to. First off, I don't want to sell mine, and that's how you feel as well. But it's where it came from. And that's a big thing. And it's not just the belts, guys. It's where they come from. Holds sentimental value. Holding that sentimental value is more important than selling it. So
yeah.
I totally agree with you, man. Absolutely.
I agree 100%. I have like the 2014 IC on a stock strap. The stock is beat to shit, but I'm not gonna get it re-leathered because
Yep.
I mean I remember the whole summer I worked mowing lawns or the winter shoveling shit, saved up my money, and then I finally could save enough money to buy a belt. And then I was young, so during the time I was like during the summer with my friends, fight for the belts and throw it around, treat it like shit, and it's beat to shit. I mean, I could probably sell it for like $50, but to me, it still holds a close place in my heart. That's what I know where you're coming from, Ryan.
Yeah,
Go.
like, I gotta say just quickly here, man. I am lucky as fuck, man. I have a wife that not only doesn't make fun of me for this hobby,
Yeah.
but man, she supports me with it. And I would say there's probably a good 4 or 5 belts in my collection that have come from her, just from her hearing me talk about them for 2-3 months when a new release comes out or something. And I'll never get rid of any of them. Like, I buy and sell just as much as the next guy, but those are the only ones that'll stick around in my collection, and you'll see one of them later.
Yeah, for sure.
Fair.
Now, moving on to the white scratch logo version 2. Main differences in this one, they went back to clamshell tooling. Not bad. Not many changes from that. Just this tooling, new strap. Again, no nugget texturing, same white logo. I mean, I think it's an upgrade because of the tooling, but then again, I don't really like the white scratch logo. Of course, this is the last version was ever held. Of course, Jericho held it, Triple H held it, then it was unified with the undisputed title. Yeah, what do you think about this version, Rob?
It's not my favorite either. I mean, it absolutely isn't. You've hit it right on the nose, though, with clamshell tooling. I love having clamshell tooling on most of my belts. Of course, I'm a licensed belt collector, but yeah, there's not a lot of differences between this one and what we were seeing before. Does Jericho make it look good? He actually does. You know what? This is a prominent time where he was the first undisputed champion. This is what I totally remember. And I mean, I got to meet this guy. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but one of the nicest guys, definitely, to meet. Jericho's definitely a solid dude. I mean, Canadian, absolutely. Again, yeah, there's not a lot of differences here. They still don't have the nugget texturing. I mean, they've got the white scratch logo. I mean, again, I'm used to the scratch logo because that's really on a lot of the licensed belts. But again, it's still, it's not my favorite, but it's still a decent belt. Ryan, what do you think?
The same. I mean, actually, I just maybe put out I guess, a bit of a correction. I think this is the one that bootleggers love to boot the most because of the clamshell tooling difference from the
Easier.
WWF. But honestly, man, I mean, the Jericho and the undisputed portion of this is what makes this belt for me. It's nothing special by any means, and in terms of the different versions of this belt. Aside from that fact, I've got, I purchased the ultimate, not the ultimate, what is it? The Defining Moments Jericho figure, just because, of these two belts. And this, to me, is the undisputed champion.
Yeah.
This is the undisputed championship title belt. It's not a single belt. It's fucking both belts, man. That's how you know it's undisputed, because you have both titles, not just one.
Yeah. No, I agree. And, in previous episode, I've hated on that big gold, but I mean, it looks good on Jericho holding those two belts. I mean, really that's my least favorite version of the big gold. But the way Jericho's holding those two belts, the history behind it, I can't even bash it today. Like, I don't know, something about it just looks so good.
I don't know. I feel like I can. It looks really fucking small there. But anyways, it really does. He still makes it look good, though. There's no doubt.
Now let's move on to the replicas. Start off with official first before we go into the bootlegs. Going first with a pretty popular 2001 Figures Inc. Big Eagle. I know, Rob, you own the 2002 deluxe version, but can you talk about, you've seen this belt, so what would you say the quality of this belt is?
Straps are really not that good. Back in the day. I mean, and Ryan, special co-host, he's a real leather guy. They're definitely, he gets to probably see some of these that come in really shit fucking shape. And the ones that I see, guys, I mean, the straps crack, they crease, they bubble. That's exactly what Figures Inc. is known for. That's absolutely is. With respect to the detail on the plates, there's not, I mean, that family crest, the McMahon family crest, it's not really that great. On that side plate, with
looks like red in that picture.
It's red in that picture. I mean, it's not the greatest, but again, it's licensed. A local guy here that I know, I actually got the deluxe off of him. It's signed by a shit ton of people. We'll talk about it. I'll talk about it pretty soon. But the one that he had, though, was signed by Triple H. The one that he had, really not. His is in really, really good shape. But when I look at my deluxe and I look at his, I don't have the bubbling. I mean, that's exactly it with the deluxe. The deluxe is a finer tune. Here it is. But I mean, the plates, I mean, they're still the same plates. And I mean, Figures Inc., they put out shit straps. They absolutely do. They're fucking horrible. But again, would I get all the Figures Inc. belts? Of course I get all the Figures Inc. belts. Guys, I love that patch. I love that fucking patch. It's just absolutely incredible. On mine, I know that we're going to head into the other one, but mine is the deluxe. As you can tell here, it's just absolutely, like, it's floppy as shit. This, I mean, still got the same plates, but you can tell with respect, and I mean, you can tell with respect to the leather, it's a little bit better. Stitched, the snap boxes are stitched. This one's signed by a shit ton of people, though. It definitely is. It's signed by Jericho, Iron Sheik, Bret Hart, Kevin Nash, Kurt Angle, and Shane Douglas. That's who it's signed by. I got this off of a dude here. This was actually the fourth belt in my collection. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing back then, guys. I got to be honest. What the Rob then to the Rob now is totally different. It's absolutely different. A lot of experience that I have attained. This was, like I said, belt number 4, belt number 3, whatever it was. But at that point, it kind of turned me into the rarities. It did, but kind of not, because then I developed my tag belt collection. And then when I met Colin, when I got the big bad boy in the case, then I went more rare. But this belt I've always had, and I've been told it's a rarity. But I mean, you're going to get the same shit fucking straps. The snap boxes are stitched on. I've got the WWF stamping all the way around and licensed. But again, what is it about, ladies and gentlemen? What is it about? It's about that fucking patch. Again, for me. Ryan, what do you think?
again, with considering this is the first iteration of it, I can't fault them too much for it because they don't know what they know now. It's still a love-hate relationship for me because it's licensed. It's got the F, but again, the detail on the plates, like you've said, man, it's minuscule, man. I mean, like they're 2mm plates, and you got probably 1/4 to 1/2 millimeter of etching depth. It's literally nothing special. I mean, like I've seen better boots, to be honest. Where the one point where I think I'm going to differ from you guys though is the strap itself. I have had a few of them come through here, the first generations. Both Big Eagles. I did a couple of what was it? Classic Intercontinentals as well too, from around the same era. I had an oval Intercontinental myself, and none of these straps showed any sort of significant wear. And I've seen probably 4 or 5 of them roll through here. And the only thing I've noticed, and again, I'm not a fan of it, obviously, is the bubbling for condition. But when we talk about Figs Inc. straps, it's usual to see cracks and hanging on by a thread and a lot of that shit. I mean, like obviously I see some of the worst of the worst when they come into my shop, but just even seeing pictures of people's new belts in groups and stuff, it's the same thing, right? I mean, cracks, wear and tear like crazy, and it's not like they did anything crazy with it, obviously, right? I mean, it probably just sat around, maybe got used a little bit, somebody posted a picture or two, but it's a shit strap. Yeah. These first iterations, though, I find are probably among the better Figs Inc. straps. Just in terms of durability. In terms of actual detail put into them, no. I mean, the WWF tooling is lazy, in my opinion, and it doesn't even go all the way around the strap like it does in future in future versions. On these ones, it goes like up to the main plate, and then it stops. Yeah. And then you have like the top crest of the main plate.
You're right.
And then it starts again. You know what I mean? Like it didn't even fucking do it the whole way around. It's like an extra 2 stamps, man. That's the part that pisses me off. Is the laziness, right?
Rob just noticed.
Fucking noticed that.
Yeah, that's the only part about that pisses me off, man. Again, and on the early versions too, when you have not even the patch, man, but like that Figs Inc. sticker on the back. Fuck, how many of those got misplaced? How many of those, through wear and tear or sweat or, indie fed baby oil are fucking gone now, within the first 6 months of owning the belt, right? Like that's the part that chaps my ass is just, they didn't put any fucking quality in this thing at all. Man, the F, it holds a special place in my heart, but the belt itself is shit.
You're totally right on that. It's a fucking stitch around that main plate, and then it's the stamping. I totally didn't even realize that. That motherfucker. I mean, holy shit! I just realized that now. I've had this belt for like 4 years.
I'm sorry to break the glass on that one, man.
It's okay. It's okay. I still like the F.
Yeah.
Well, don't get me wrong.
Now, I'd say if you not want to deal with that shitty strap, get it releathered. Of course, in my opinion, you gotta get most of your belts releathered. Of course, Ryan did an amazing job on this. Ryan, do you want to talk about making this actual strap for this belt?
Yeah, definitely, man. So I mean, the one you're looking at right now is one that I did the strap on. A lot of the older ones, when they come through, they prefer to have them re-leathered and not send outs. And fuck, man, I can't blame you. If it's up to me, all of my belts are re-leathered personally. I do the same thing for my kid, for all of her belts. If people want send outs, man, it's not a big deal. It saves you on shipping and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they still have their own merit because, down the road, man, if you need extra cash and you don't want to fucking sell your belt, put it back on its original strap, man, and sell the send out, right? That's what I always tell people. That's the benefit of the send out. Mm-hmm. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Making these, it'll... With all the bitching I just did about that strap, man, this is what makes me feel good about what I do. Wrestling is something that's given so much to me my entire life, and it really makes me feel good that I can be in a hobby and to give, be part of this and be able to give back too, because, we as collectors and as fans deserve quality. I'm not saying it should be ring used quality by any means, but it should be as accurate as we can fucking get it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's something that I strive for, is accuracy. So when I do my re-leathers like this, I work closely with the customer to say, what is it that you want? If there's multiple versions of the belt, like if it's a WWE Big Gold, are we going 2x8 and 2x5 for the snaps, or are we going to do 2x5 on both sides? If it's the big Eagle, do you want the WWF stamp, or do you want, the clamshell tooling? Am I going to do a 2x10 on this, or am I going to do, that's the thing I love about this, is that, I can go as custom as I want if they're cool with that, or I can go as ring accurate as they want. And that's what keeps it not being monotonous as well too, is the fact that, there's so many different things you can do like this. I don't know if you guys are going to show some stuff later or whatever, but I've done a bunch of custom work too. And that really breathes new life into this for me as well, especially when doing some of these older belts too, because there's only so many big golds you can do. But when you get people that want special orders, or they want to be like, either just, you can tell they're sticklers for ring accuracy, that's when the challenge comes in. I love that.
Yeah. No, that's great to hear. No, and that strap looks fucking beautiful. Looks, in my opinion, it makes the belt look 10 times better on that strap than on
That's
that
a nice job.
piece of shit cardboard strap. Sorry, Rob, but
All good.
I think it looks wonderful. Moving on to the WWE Shop Big Eagle. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like this belt at all. Oh, sorry, I passed it. Hate it so much. I just this strap. We're talking about straps. This strap looks like complete dog shit. This one, I think you have to get it re-leathered. If you're just gonna display it, whatever, it's fine. But again, with that WWE tooling, it's not even WWF. Of course, they can't do it. But main plate flat as a pancake. I don't like that at all. The etching does look better. Of course, technology advanced from 2001, but I just don't. I mean, I don't like this version of the belt, so it doesn't really help. One thing I found weird is it looks like, it might be just the pictures, but it looks like the WWE logo on the main plate is gold, and then it's white on the side plates. I don't know which version they're trying to go for, because if they're going for the gold version, shouldn't it be gold on the main plate and gold on the side plates? Like, I don't understand what they're going for. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't think it looks good. Strap, of course, doesn't look very good. Get it re-leathered. Property plate, I just would not get this belt. Rob?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't either. I mean, they do have one thing going for them, is that, I mean, you got those Figures Inc. belts, of course, with the 2mm versions, and then you got thickened plates. I totally agree. The straps are not that great. You're probably going to get really fucking stiff-ass straps. I want to pose a challenge. I mean, good luck trying to curve it. Well, you could curve it, I mean, but it's as flat as a fucking pancake. And again, it's nice to have another Canadian on here as a co-host, but he'll know exactly what I mean. It's as flat as Saskatchewan. It totally is. But I totally agree with you. It might be the pictures, Max. It looks like that's gold, and then it's white. I don't understand what they're trying to go for here. And again, I mean, now that I notice this fucking stamping with the stamping,
they did it on this one too,
but it's got WWE, and I know they can't use WWF. I mean, though, just because I won't get it doesn't mean that you guys shouldn't get it. I mean, a lot of rookie belt collectors, a lot of new belt collectors go for this. They go for this version. And then you get all those people that are on the other Facebook groups when they're trying to sell the WWF for the price that they're selling it for. And they're like, oh, well, I got one from WWE Shop, and it was this amount. Dude, it doesn't have the F. Like, let's get fucking real here. I get it, fine, 2mm plates. But here's some advice to you, and I'm hoping this motherfucker's actually watching it. I'm sorry, but do your research before you comment on a post, because you just look fucking stupid. Ryan, what do you think?
This one, to be honest, I'm not a fan of. I told you that you guys would be seeing one of my belts later on, and this is the belt actually I'm going to show you, because this is one that was given to me by my wife.
Mm-hmm.
So it's It's the same one. This is actually the Fig Zinc version of it. The reason why this one is special to me, though, other than that, is because it's got some autographs on it.
Okay.
I'm not usually a guy that likes belts that are autographed by people who didn't hold them.
Yeah.
So, it's not. I would never call somebody out on having that by any means, but it's generally not something I would do.
Yeah.
This one though was autographed by both Mick Foley and Bret Hart, and I mean, Bret Hart wasn't even around when this fucking thing came out, right? So, the only reason why it's special for me, other than the fact that she gave it to me, was because of the fact that those are my two favorite wrestlers of all time. And again, I mean, having Hart autograph this thing is kind of weird, but the fact that I now have something else in my collection that is autographed by him, and it just has so much sentimental value to me is dope.
Mm-hmm.
What do I think about the replica as a whole? I think it's shit. The WWF tooling on it, terrible. The fact that it's got stitched on snap boxes with no fucking detail, terrible. WWE logo, terrible. And actually, I hadn't really noticed this before you guys pointed it out, but on the Fig Zinc version, it is gold on the main plate, as you can see there. And then on the side plates, it's fucking white.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, I mean, they definitely, again, I don't know what version they're trying to go with there, or if they're just hoping to fucking get the best of both worlds. But,
exactly.
Make up your goddamn mind, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't. I just don't like this belt at all. I would never buy this belt. I would never own this belt. I'm sorry.
No.
And the shade of blue too. Like, it's not even the baby blue. It's like a dark blue.
Yeah, on the shop version, it's a dark blue. On the Figs though, it's more like a classic Intercontinental kind of blue.
That's the right blue. That's the correct blue. The shade of blue on the shop is so dark. I don't.
Yeah,
and if I want it, I get rid of it. So just so everybody knows, anyways.
No, moving on to the block logo. Now, this belt, I do own this belt, so that's why I added it. X-Man belts. If you guys haven't heard of him, talked to him in previous episodes. Of course, Middleman, Nick, and Chris, great guys. I've dealt with both of them. Really good friends.
Great guys.
And there it is. Now, I do have a more detailed review on my channel, and I have a bit longer story on there how I got this belt. Long story short, you're talking about straps so you can sell them. I did that. I did a trade. I had a Man in the Fog strap, and then I did a trade with Chris. He had an in-stock block logo Big Eagle from, I honestly don't know which maker it was. It looked really nice. It was this version, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. This was around August. Long story short, I shipped mine. He shipped his. UPS or customs, I guess. I'm not sure. It's a bit of both. UPS was like, you're not declaring the correct value. This is valued more, even though he valued it correctly. They said it should have been valued at around $1,000, which I don't know where the fuck they're getting these prices. And the guy emailed, and he was like, I'm into wrestling. I know how much these belts are worth, so value it correctly. Which, if you guys know about customs, depending on how much you value it, that's how much you're going to get the duties on. So duties on $1,000, hell no, I'm not paying for that shit for a trade. Fuck off. So we told him no, told him to ship it back to Chris. They didn't do that. The customs ended up taking the actual belt, and we tried contacting them several times over 3 months. Nothing at all happened. They ended up keeping the belt and throwing it away. So I was out of a belt. Chris, being a great guy, though, he was like, it's fine. I'm getting one made by X-Man for you, which is, he didn't have to do that. I mean, it was coming out of his own pocket, but just goes to show you what kind of guy he is. He honestly could have scammed me. I know there's a lot of people getting scammed at the time. I don't want to really talk about that right now, but he could have easily blocked me and just been like, whatever, and kept the strap. But no, he actually got this belt made by X-Man and finally got it. Very happy. 4mm zinc on the blue strap. Of course, has the nugget texturing, proper shade of blue. That beautiful property plate that I was talking about earlier that I love so much. You can see, love that property plate. The strap's not bad. Of course, it's Pakistan leather, so you're not expecting the best leather in the world. But it's improved since I got in the last belt. It's not bad, actually. For display, looks good. Beveled, has the clamshell tooling. snap box. It's a nice belt. I do have the black croc backing, so it's a pretty nice belt, and I believe they sell this for 320, which is not bad. It takes about a month for it to get ready and really quick. Um, I recommend it. It's a nice budget belt. If you're looking to get a single layer belt for a decent price, X-Man belts, easy communication, quick turnaround time, and it's a pretty good belt. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And you mentioned about Chris. I mean, I've got a deal coming up with Chris. You know about that, Miles. But anyways, they're outstanding guys. They totally are. They're actually heading into, and I'm talking about Chris Stratton and Nick Carnivale. I think that's how they pronounce it. But anyways, both those guys are outstanding guys. They're going into the Belt Addicts Anonymous Hall of Fame. So what Chris did for you, Max, is absolutely incredible. And I watched the review, and go check out that video, guys. It's probably right next door to this video when it gets uploaded, of the review of this bad boy. I think X-Men did a really good job on this. I really did. I mean, they nailed a lot of stuff here, and I mean, they're pretty reputable. It looks really, really good. Absolutely. I don't know what else to say about it. I think you have a story with this belt, Max. I mean, you totally do. On how you got it, on what you were supposed to get, on how you got it. And I mean, this is probably going to hold dear to your heart. I don't know how long you'll hold this belt, but
Yeah, I'm not selling this.
it's a great belt. I mean, I feel you. There's a lot of sentimental value. I probably wouldn't sell it. You love the block logo very much. I think that they did wonders on this belt. I really do. I am not. And again, I can comment, on me not being a bootleg fan, but I'll give credit where it's due. I absolutely will. This is a great looking belt. It absolutely is. And I mean, if I wanted it, if I did, I mean, I'd have them make it. I would, because I can't get it in licensed form. I can't. I definitely can't. But absolutely incredible. It is a really, really good belt. They did a really, really good job. Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I love the plates on it. I'm taking a look at it now, and from what I've seen of X-Men's work, it's pretty good, man. I mean, the dude's pretty young, and fuck, he's putting out better quality than like 2/3 of the guys in Pakistan right now.
Mm-hmm.
The plates on this look great. I'm looking at the nugget texturing right now, and from what I can see, it looks good too, man. The only fault I really find with it, I guess, is just the strap. I mean, For me, it's cut a little too close around the main plate, and of course, just I can see the edge of the male or the female snap box there, and incorrect tooling really chaps my ass. That's the only thing that I can really kind of poke at with this, because the plates look good, And I mean, I think the best part about this though is the story. The fact that you can sit there and say that Chris held up his end of the bargain. And I mean, we see stories all the time where, fuck, people don't, I saw one today where Buddy had like a 3-way trade going, and like one guy fucking reneged and pulled his money back off of like PayPal or whatever. And the guy, the other guy who he sent his belt to or whatever, just wasn't having anything to do with it. He's like, it's not my fucking problem.
Saw that too, right?
But yeah, and that's like, I mean, for Chris to do that, he didn't have to do that, right? Mm-hmm. But he did have to do that, and that's the honorable thing, right? I mean, if you're not going to honor your end of the bargain, you have no business in this game. And that's one thing I love about Chris and Nick. Yeah. Nick, fuck, him and I did a trade a little while back, and he forgot to give me a belt bag. He forgot to even tell me that a belt bag came with it. And I was like, oh, fuck, dude, don't worry about it. And he's like, no, man, let me send it to you. And I was like, okay, well, at least let me fucking go splits on shipping. And he's like, no, man, it was my mess up, so it's my money. And I was like, okay, if that's what you want to do, man. But that really speaks to their character over there. Yeah. And, I've heard nothing but good things about those guys. So it's, I've dealt with them personally. Chris was a customer of mine back when I was a middleman and shit. And fuck, every interaction I've had with that guy has been A1 for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm about to do a deal with him, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
No, they're both great guys. Now,
both great.
we talk about budget makers or middle of the pack makers with like X-Man. Let's talk about the cream of the crop, the
Ooh,
top of the food chain.
know where
Of
we're heading.
course,
Yep.
classic
Oh,
Shields. I mean,
the big guys.
who else? If
These are the
anyone
big
wants, let's be
guys.
honest, anyone wants to argue they're better makers. Sorry, Orm, it's not true.
No.
It simply is not true. Like you can't deny the quality. Here's their HD Big Eagle. Do I have to
Oh,
say anything? Just
God.
like look at it for fuck's sakes. Look at that nugget texturing, the McMahon family crest. You can read every individual letter. That globe, the fucking. I can't even. I'm speechless. It's a beauty of a belt. Here's the full belt. Of course, the logos are covered up because of Facebook. But what do you think, Rob?
Uh, Absolutely beautiful. And now we're talking. This is the reason why these guys are absolutely incredible. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's about quality, not quantity here. It definitely is. X-Men definitely put out great belt. Definitely, these guys are a little bit higher up the food chain. Absolutely. If you are going to order belts, and I mean, I've been talking to other guys, fellow belt brothers, sisters. They've ordered belts. They've got a few on order. You're going to wait. You're definitely going to wait. They've got so many orders, guys. I think they've only got 5 guys that are doing this, and they don't want anybody else doing this because they're gonna.
Yeah.
You don't want anything to fuck up. And that ruins their reputation. But when you get a belt from these guys, you're gonna get a beautiful quality belt. I was actually talking with a fellow friend of mine, and Ryan, you know him, Indy Goria,
Yep.
and I was talking to him, I think a couple nights ago, and we were talking about the whole boot thing. We were talking, what's going on in the hobby. We don't need to mention, but anyways, would there be a belt that I would get in boot style? And there is, and we mentioned it on one of the other episodes. It's the Alondra Blaze belt, and who would I have make it? These guys, because I watched a YouTube video with a guy who unveiled his collection, and it was in there. You are going to get a hell of a quality belt with these guys. You are. But the only
Yeah.
downside is the communication really isn't there. You're going to be waiting. And are you going to get scammed? No. You're not going to get scammed, but it's going to take a long fucking time. Max, you can attest to it. You had something ordered with them, and I think you dropped the order and went with someone else. But
Yeah,
agree, though, because you went
too
with
impatient.
ORM. ORM fucked you around, and they weren't honest with you. These guys are going to be honest with you. It's going to take a long time. But, look at it. Look at their product. I mean, you can't get better than that. Brian, what do you think?
You know what? CS is the standard. I've said that since I knew what the fuck I was talking about in this hobby. I mean, if there was anybody that I would be going for to get a boot now, especially in today's climate with what everything's going on in the hobby, Classic Shields is the one to go with, man. I mean, as you mentioned, you're going to wait. As collectors, you should expect to wait 12 to 18 months at the current time, anyways, for these guys. And again, if you're looking at the screen right now, man, you can see the quality in the etching. It's crisp, it's clean. Even their so-called SD stuff is fucking great looking. Now, I wasn't gonna mention ORM by name, but since he's already brought up here, I will. I was thinking about going with ORM for a textured big gold, but the problem I have with him is that I've heard stories about orders getting lost. And I don't know if that's what happened to you, Max, but I know that a lot of his accounts just seem to get shut down. I don't know if he's just one that they just have to keep popping every single time, or somebody's ratting on him or whatever. But it seems like every 3-4 months the account's gone, and there's no record of your order. You have no record of your order because now you're just looking at a fucking blank conversation, right?
Exactly.
And that doesn't sit well with me. I like what ORM does. His quality is great, and it's second only to Classic Shields. And that's not saying anything bad about ORM, man. He's right up there with them. It's just that it's just the consistency with being able to complete orders and get, and have him know what's going on and stuff that from what I've seen anyway, is not my own personal experience. That really kind of made me hesitate going with him.
Mhm.
And I'm glad I did, because I actually picked up a Nawaz, which is, in my
Yeah, me
opinion,
too.
number 3. And it's every bit as beautiful as an ORM would be to me. And, with none of the runaround, basically.
Yeah.
And ORM, Ryan. I mean, we decided to call his ass out on a prior episode, and it took that in order to get in contact with Max. And we don't like that piece of crap. We really don't. Even though he does put out good belts, customer service is a big thing. I mean, Max was. I mean, it was a United States belt. Like, give me a break here. Not even like anything here. Absolutely not. So, I think you made the right choice, Ryan. Go with a Nawaz.
Yeah, no, I have a Nawaz texture gold, and it's the beauty. Just
You
get
know
it
what, man?
re-leathered, and it's perfect.
I'm not like I'm usually up for self promotion, but I don't know if you've got that re-leathered or not. But mine's done by Colin Cook, also a Canadian re-leatherer.
Yeah.
I do a good big gold, man. But if you want that one re-leathered, hit him up. This thing looks absolutely gorgeous, dude.
I think, is it the one he was showing off? Is that yours with the red
No,
croc?
I think that was somebody else's. I bought mine off of Scott,
Oh, okay.
another mod in Bells of the North.
Right.
Yeah.
Is yours have the black backing or the red croc?
Red Croc, yeah. And it's got
Nice.
the Edge nameplate on it too from Nawaz. So.
Yeah, me too. We got the same belt basically.
Yeah.
Mine's just on stock
Nice.
strap. But
You
I
know,
need
it's
to get
funny.
it
I mean,
leathered.
like, I wasn't gonna pick it up, but because it had that Edge rated R nameplate, and
Yeah.
I'm a pretty big Edge mark and have been for years. I moved a couple belts to make it happen because fuck, it's just so beautiful, man.
Yeah, no, it's a beauty. Now this is a custom belt. This obviously wasn't ever used on TV, but I saw Classic Shields. They're not done yet. Take a while, but they're working on this and showed an update for a custom dual plated Big Eagle. And
Wow.
I love dual plated belts. I've talked about it before. I love the dual plated Winged Eagle. I love the dual plated classic tags. I absolutely love dual plated belts, and this looks fucking crazy. I never thought it would happen. Or I never thought of it. I just didn't. It didn't come into my mind. And when I saw this, good God, I love that the nugget texturing in.
I was just
nickel.
gonna say, can we take a minute to appreciate that texturing? Jesus
Good
Christ!
God, that's nugget
Hell of a
texturing.
detail on that. Holy shit.
Wow.
I think we're all just speechless. Just look at that beauty.
Yeah.
Rob, what do you think?
I mean, I don't even collect bootlegs, and I think this is absolutely fucking incredible. Beautiful texturing these guys do, and I'm with you. I love dual plated. I absolutely do. A few of my belts are licensed dual plated belts. I mean, my one from Shop, the era version of the dual plated Winged Eagle, and the WWF Classic Tag, the 2012 Figures Inc. That's a rare belt. I love dual plated. I'm with you. I never even thought that this existed. That something like this could exist. It looks absolutely incredible, and I totally agree. Just take a moment to embrace, to look at that texturing. Beautiful, guys. And you know what? Keep up the great work you guys are doing over there. Ryan, what do you think?
There's no denying the fact that this is quality, and it is top quality when it comes to belts in general, but especially boots, man.
Beautiful.
Whether it be American, whether it be Pakistani, whether it be fucking, Fandu over there in China, it doesn't matter, dude. This looks fantastic.
Oh yeah.
One of the things I love about this texturing too, as I look, even closer at it, is that it's properly done. I've seen, obviously, with Fandu coming in with the Lux and Classic Shield stepping up their game with, the multiple versions of, the Crumrine. We've seen a lot of middle of the road makers try and do the Crumrine as well. And one of the things that really turns me off of the middle of the road makers for Crumrines is the fact that their texturing just doesn't look good. And what I mean about that is it's something that I also try to avoid in my snap boxes and in my tooling as well. And it's vertical or horizontal repetition. When you can see texturing and you can see the lines going like this of like dot, 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 dot,
Yeah.
dot, 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 and you can see the patterns that they followed, That's not good texturing, man. And it's the same with with leather tooling as well. Like if you're taking a look at a snap box, I'll use the new US as a good example. In the WWE logo spot, it's kind of like a pebble texturing.
Yeah.
And that's done with a stamp that's about, the end of the stamp is about maybe that big or so. So when you're doing it, you're going boop, 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 boop. And like, that's fine. You can go ahead and do the vertical or the horizontal pattern. But if you're not twisting your stamp as you're going along, it's just going to look like the human eye has a thing for pattern recognition. And like, if you're not paying close attention to that and you're just being lazy and just doing the same thing like this and not putting any sort of variation or twist to it, the human eye will notice that. And it just, for me, man, it looks off and I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But this, what they're doing with their crumb rinds and what they've done with the texturing on this one, and a lot of the nugget texturing I've seen as well too, man, they get it over there, and that's one big thing for me that just, puts them head and shoulders above the rest. Not just the clarity of etching, but the small attention to detail like that. That's really what just does it for me, man. And like, I try and bring that in my own work as well too, because I don't want people to take a look at that and be like, man, that looks amateurish. I want them to look at it and be like, fuck, that looks like a fluid piece. Like I can't tell where one stamp ends and the next one begins.
Mm.
Yeah, no, it's a fucking beauty. Let's talk about other beauties. Of course, I've added this segment over the last few weeks, and I know you guys, some people enjoy them, and it's showing off some interesting belts, to say the least, and as of course, shit boots of the week. Now, some of these belts are truly gorgeous. We're talking about classic shields, and there's no better way to start shit boots of the week, this first one of the year, than with United Belt Brothers. Let's show some of their beauties this week. Let's start off with that IWGP. Holy shit, that AEW and that big gold. Rob, what do you think?
Holy fuck. Like, are you kidding me here? I mean, and you guys want to hit up the Facebook groups, and you guys think that you can go over the Figures Inc. versions with these fucking belts, and people asking, and I love it. Someone asking for an Andre 87 Figures Inc. Where can I get one? Oh, United Brothers belts. Fuck, I'm telling you. Look at that AEW. Look at that AEW. It looks absolutely like ass. I mean, and I really think like if I touch it, I'm going to like cut my hand. I'm going to cut my fucking hand because it's probably made out of sheet metal. And I mean, that main plate, that looks absolutely grotesque here. I don't know what they're thinking here with them. And then look at the IWGP.
Look at the nameplates on the side.
The nameplates on the side. And I mean, I'm literally like at the top of the belt. I'm going to have to literally, and I'm quoting another fellow admin on here, I'm going to have to take like a head fucking dive to get down to the side plate. I totally am, because of that stupid ass fucking cut. You guys have no idea, and we were just talking about classic shields. You guys have no idea what detail means. You guys have no idea, and you guys think that you can produce these belts for people, and people think they're actually getting like licensed, like actual quality belts here, and they're getting this fucking piece of shit. They absolutely are. Now, look at the fucking cut. I mean, that's a very, very tight cut. I was actually really surprised that they could actually make that tight cut on that big gold that they did here. They actually hit the tight cut. However, the plates don't look accurate at all. It looks absolute horse shit. But I mean, I mean, I just can't fucking believe this. I can't fucking believe that these guys had the audacity to come into this hobby, and they're almost like scammers. Like we're talking about like other belt makers that we put on the top of the scammers list, like mock belts. These motherfuckers really need to be on there, because I feel really bad for people that they think that they're getting an actual quality belt when they actually get a piece of shit like this that I can cut my hand on. I mean, do I really want to cut my hand on a belt on an AEW belt. Look at the distance too that they did here. They like slapped it on. These guys are a fucking disgrace to this hobby. And I can mention the names. But I think you motherfuckers have so many people working for you that I have to make sure I'm caught up on the list, because if I catch any one of you guys commenting on anything in Belt Addict Anonymous, you will be booted and banned for life. And Heel and Heroes Belts is going to ban you too. Wrestling Revolution is going to ban you. I can't really say much about Belts of the North. I don't know how they feel about this. Ryan, you could probably attest to it. But we don't like you. We don't like you. And again, we don't like you. Get the fuck out of our hobby. Get the fuck out of our hobby. You guys don't belong in the hobby. Ryan, what do you think?
I don't know, man. I'm just in awe at the straightness of those rivets on that IWGP.
Oh,
Never before have I seen such a curved straight line. Holy fuck. Let me tell you, like, that is absolutely magical.
It looks like a comet falling down.
You know, it really does. It's like the path of a shooting star. It just has that nice little bit of curvature to it, right? And I'm pretty sure that's exactly how the original belt was done.
For sure.
You know, again, you know, for the viewers out there, if we can't tell what sarcasm is, this thing is an absolute piece of shit.
I take better poos, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, absolutely. I would much rather see a picture of that on here than this. Let me tell you. You know, there's a ton of fucking terrible boots out there. You know, UBB is definitely a company to avoid, in my personal opinion. Same with MOC belts, and there's other ones out there as well too. But I mean, for the purpose of this, you know, the texturing on the big gold that doesn't even go all the way to the edge. You know, again, like you mentioned about cutting your hand on those plates on the AEW. Sheet metal or not, those corners on the fucking side plates look like knives. Jesus Christ. Like,
You can take it off the belt and use it as a boomerang. That's how sharp they are.
Oh, I know, man. You could, you know, I feel like Christopher Lloyd in the fucking Dennis the Menace movie. I'll use that to cut open my can of beans. Christ.
It looks like the thing that Batman throws his bat.
Yeah, man, that's a battering for
Holy
sure,
shit.
right? I'll tell you, that belt took a battering. That's for sure.
Fuckers.
No, oh god, I can't look at those anymore. Let me move on to the next, because there's more. You know, people ask, or is there any place I can get my network logo other than the shop? And
No.
well, most of them look like this. And
Yeah.
no, basically, short answer, no. Please, god damn, this is one of those belts that you can't boot. I mean, some belts look fine. The IC looks fine. The Big Eagle, some of them look good. Like, some belts you can boot. This belt, please no. Please just get a commemorative and hang it on the wall. Like, don't get this. Holy, look.
I hate to run, guys. I apologize to interrupt you, man, but I just got called out by my wife.
All good.
I'm gonna have to jump out of the session. I apologize.
Go for it.
All good.
Go for
All
it.
right. Thanks again for having me. Super fucking fun time, man. Give me a shout anytime. I hope I didn't fuck up your podcast.
No, all good.
Definitely.
No,
All right.
we'll be glad to have
Cheers,
you.
boys.
Have a good night. All right, yeah. Absolute horrendous belt.
This is an absolute horrible belt. I mean, and take a look at those diamonds. Like, and I mean, I'm looking at those diamonds.
Call it a diamond, or
I don't know. Call it a piece of shit.
Bedazzled.
You do not want to get bootlegs on this, okay?
No, not this
Do
belt.
not do a bootleg with this. And I mean, look at the strap. Like, I mean, it absolutely looks horrid. Oh, Max, I mean, you got to get this off the screen, man.
Yeah, no, the sidebars. First of all, look at those sidebars.
I'm sure
look
we've
like
got
popsicle
another
sticks.
Now,
Now the Divas belt, if you couldn't make it worse. Somehow they did. What the fuck is that leather cut? Like, come on, this has to be a joke, right? Like, what is this leather cut? I don't understand this at all. And why are the side plates like that?
why are they like? Oh my god, those side plates are like. This is not United Belt Brothers, is it?
It is. Oh, of course, all of them on this episode are.
Oh, well,
This is the episode just for them.
Oh, well, I mean, they fucking suck. They absolutely do. Yeah. What are you guys thinking on that strap? I mean, it doesn't fit anything. And you literally just dropped the side plates on there, and they're not even the right
They dropped
size.
them. They just threw them on there.
They're not even the right size. And then look at that main plate. It almost looks like it's kind of like tilted up on the right a little bit. I mean, and your tooling is fucking horrid. Oh my god.
Different size clamshell.
Oh my god. Fucking
Look at that. If you
disgracing.
look at the middle, you can see big clamshell, and then look at the corners, a tiny clamshell.
Oh my god, you guys are a fucking disgrace. I mean, you guys have no idea what you're doing.
You know,
And those, like, is that gem or is that just painted on like that?
both.
That
Who
Evo's.
knows? It looks like those toys that you could get the little gems and stick it on there. Looks
Oh
like that.
man, fucking brutal,
My
brutal,
God.
brutal.
Now we did talk about FanDuel a little bit earlier. Ryan mentioned them. They did release a new NWA World Title, and we did have some mixed feelings on them. But if you want to get an alternative, of course, they have your back.
Oh
The
my,
NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
Jesus,
Talk about getting belts releathered. What the fuck is that strap?
what is that?
What is that cut?
That looks like wow. The
It's
cut.
floating. The belt is floating.
Oh, it's totally floating, and then the grommets are not
Speechless.
even aligned. The grommets are not even aligned on the right side, and then the writing that is like it doesn't. It looks like it was just like fucking like written on.
Why is wrestling so small?
Yeah,
Why is it so like
really small. The world's heavyweight is just so big,
one word?
inconsistent. It's absolutely inconsistent. The cut on the leather is absolute horseshit. Something that I would probably not get, but if I did get, I would be crying because
Yeah,
this
I
thing
think
fucking sucks.
if I got this belt, I'd probably commit arson
I
and
hate it.
burn the whole
Absolutely hate
house
it.
down,
Absolutely
burning
hate
this
it.
belt, destroying it.
Absolutely hate it.
Good
Hate
God.
it. Hate it.
No, this is a dog shit strap. But someone who doesn't have dog, let's move on from these horrible belts. Let's finish off on a good note. Someone who doesn't have dog shit straps, Ryan Richards, Northern Image Leatherworks. Unfortunately, he had to go, but it is really late where he's at. But let's just give him a quick shout out. Okay, we've talked about him before in previous episodes,
Yep.
and look at his work. God damn, that North American strap in the custom black and that backing. Look at that backing on that winged eagle. Absolutely beautiful. The tooling on that North American is so intricate, so detailed, looks wonderful. The backing there looks great. You can see that leather cut for the winged eagle. It's that special leather cut where it has the wings popping up. Fucking beautiful. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, what he does is absolutely incredible. I mean, I'm not I'm not a re-leatherer. I mean, I'm not, but some of the straps that he's got that he's come out with, it's absolutely incredible. Look at that backing that he did on that winged eagle. Absolutely incredible. I love it. I love that in its croc. It's absolutely beautiful. Blue beauty. Ryan Richards is a guy that you know what you're going to get, and you can see that, ladies and gentlemen. I know he had to leave, but you can see what type of guy he is. He's a close. Well, he's definitely Max is a lot closer with him than I am, but he's definitely a standout guy, fellow Canadian. You're going to get quality service with respect to his re-leathering. If you guys are ever just kind of not sure about it, going with him, don't worry, because it's going to work out. It definitely is. And look at the stuff that he puts out here. Look at the stuff. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. It absolutely is. And he is definitely good with customer service. He'll always get back to you. He's not going to ghost you. So
constant updates. I had my AEW releathered, my NXT releathered. Let me show it off quickly to show you some of the work. Plates are by Muhammad Lukman, but let's talk about the strap. The plates were good. Strap was kind of shit. He has improved now with the upgraded leather, but back then the strap was pretty bad, so it got releathered, and it made it into a completely different belt. It is such a big difference. Just look at that tooling.
Oh, man, he did a really good job on that.
Tooling. Buttery soft clamshell tooling going all over. Look at that cut. Accurate cut. You see that triangle area almost?
Yeah, he nailed it.
Exactly like the TV belt.
And Ryan
hand tooled.
Yep. He pays attention. He pays attention
and
to
the
the details. Beauty.
Some dark blue, black croc.
Beauty.
This is
beauty.
Look how soft it is.
Beauty. And we're not taking anything away from
Cluttered.
Muhammad Lukman.
No, no.
I mean, Muhammad, like you're an awesome guy. You're a bro of mine, definitely. Ryan definitely nailed it. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He it made him one of my favorite belts in my collection now. Like before, the strap was kind of shit. I know his upgraded straps are way better now. I had
Beautiful.
one for TNT and it's way
Absolutely
better,
beautiful.
but this just made the belt next level.
Absolutely beautiful.
And speaking of making belts next level,
Look at that.
look at that! Holy
It's so
shit! He was
cool.
talking about custom work earlier, and look at some of his custom work, and he has a lot more. If you want, check out his Instagram.
So cool.
Lots of beautiful pictures. The one on the left is a Bray Wyatt Abigail inspired, Sister Abigail inspired belt. The one on the right, of course, Undertaker. Did have like the Undertaker symbol textured in with the WWE logo usually is. God damn! Look at that detail. It just makes a belt look so unique. No one's gonna have a belt like this. Like you get a set up strap like this. Nobody's having that.
It's beautiful.
Like you post it on Facebook, nobody has that belt. It's fucking amazing. And one more thing, look at that tooling going around the Sister Abigail belt. Wow, beautiful.
I mean, he nailed it. He looks at detail. That's exactly it.
Look at that.
And there were people that were asking me about this, Max. There were people asking me about this belt and knowing if I knew the guy. And of course, yeah, I knew Ryan, but and they're like, man, that's awesome. Like, go for it.
Custom, yeah.
Awesome.
It's
like,
fucking
awesome
beautiful.
stuff.
Sister Abigail hand cart. Oh my god.
He did well.
It just looks crazy good.
He did well.
So yeah, guys, make sure to check him out if you want any belts re-leathered, send out straps. He's a fucking great guy, especially if you're in Canada. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
So much. Like, I know there's other leather makers, but it's just like such a hassle having to ship to the US, pay like $40, then customs, then shipping back. It's a pain in the ass. Like for him, it's easy. I get my like $15 box, get it shipped through Canada Post, gets there in 5 days, ships it back, easy, quick, easy, done.
He's close. He's close to us.
He's a great guy.
He's in BC. We're in
I
Alberta.
got 2 of my belts re-leathered. Of course, I'm gonna get a few in the future re-leathered for sure. He's a great guy. If you guys ever need a strap, please make sure to check him out on Instagram, Facebook. I'll link it all in the description below. He does have a Facebook page as well. He's just a great guy. That does bring us to the end of the first episode of 2022. I think it's a great episode, but I think we're forgetting something. I don't know. It's a new year. I don't remember. We took a week off, so I'm kind of forgetting how we finished the episode. Rob, how do we figure?
So how we're going to end it is we're going to put the belt over our shoulder. Do we want to mention what we're doing next week, Max?
For sure. Next week is a very special episode, and we're going to announce the co-host later this week on Belt Addicts Anonymous. But we're going over every single WWE Shop Signature Series and Legacy belt. That includes every single one released. It's going to be a big episode. We're going to talk about our thoughts. I have some very, very interesting thoughts on those. So it'll be a very, very loud episode. Super excited for that one. Rob, which belt do you have over your shoulder?
The 2002 Deluxe Big Eagle WWF, 4th belt in my collection. A rarity. I'm actually gonna. This episode is actually going to be coming out after I unbox it, but I'll actually do a review on the belt that I am getting this week. I'm really, really happy. I know it's Max's favorite, but anyways, this is the belt I have over my shoulder. Max, what do you have?
I have, of course, my X-Men belts. Big Eagle.
Yeah, there we go. There you go. The Big Eagle.
Okay, so, shit.
No, it's you know what? I think we're ready to wrap this up with a bow,
For sure. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next episode.